Welcome to my XNA Framework tutorial for Eminent Sage Productions in CSE 308 at Stony Brook University. First, to start off, we're going to open up a new project. At least you should open up a new project. You're going to want a Windows game out of the XNA Game Studio templates. Just create that. And that sets up a basic game object that extends the XNA game type or object. This right here is how gamepads are handled in with the Xbox. We won't be actually covering that, but it's mildly interesting. If you take a look at this directory right here, this is your content directory. You'll drag and drop images into this, and they'll be built into a special XNB format that is optimized for XNA games. And you'll be able to use those just by referring to them without the extension type, as long as you set up your content directory in the game right. We're going to skip ahead a little bit and go to a completed demo that I have. Here we go. Right, so first I have these. You want to create a game, it has to have stuff in it, and you need a thing to represent this stuff. So I created a thing class, a few others that extend it, but mostly focus on the thing. There's a couple things like speed, whether it's alive or not, how long it's going to be dead for. It takes in the game, so it always has a reference to the game, so it can get the graphics, so it can draw itself and all that. It's bound to the edges of the screen right here, so it'll never exceed the minimum and maximum of the screen. Some random respawning code so that the thing will be respawned randomly, and each of the dog and the mouse have their own way to respond, so their behavior is a little different. So this is how mouse keys in Windows or how mouse and keyboard are handled. You put in a if Windows, so it knows that it shouldn't be checking for this stuff if you're playing on Xbox. I just have the keyboard here, I don't have a mouse, but it's simple. You just get the state of the keyboard, and then ask if the key is down, and it returns a boolean, and you can act accordingly from there. This is where the content directory is specified in the constructor, and so it knows where to look for the images when it runs. Load content. You set up a sprite font, which is, you go to your content directory and you add new item. You're going to select sprite font. That's a sprite font 2. Then to actually specify the font that is in this sprite font, you're going to want to open that up, and you just specify it right here in this XML tag. And this is how the textures are loaded in. Notice there's no .tga attached to mouse. It's been compiled into an XMB file. collision code before the drawing code. This just sets up a basic rectangle for each game object: a mouse, the dog, and a cat. If the cat intersects the mouse, you kill the mouse and increase the amount of mice killed. And if the dog intersects the cat, the game is reset and everything is killed. Now the drawing code itself. You're going to want to clear the graphics device, and that right there, that ghost white, will just whatever your background color you want that to be. Sprite batch begin. Actually, I was just playing around with these, and in fact, this would work for most things. So if the cat is alive, we're going to draw the game. So we draw the cat. You need to specify a color. White will draw the image as it is. Any other color will have an overlay over that image. We'll try that out in a bit. But and passing in no will have the image not drawn at all. If the mouse is alive, draw the mouse. If the dog's alive, draw the mouse. And here's how you draw strings. You pass it in a font, a string to draw, a vector representing the position to draw it at, and a color to draw it. And as you can see with the next one, there are more parameters you can pass in. Right here, which would, this actually rotates it 15 degrees, I believe, or 15% rather. And that's what we draw. We just draw blank text we just draw text in a blank screen if the cat is not alive in between games. And then you just end the sprite batch, and then that'll all be sent to the graphics card and drawn. Well, probably after this. And you'll see a program when you create your game, and this just calls the run method on the game. So let's run it. As you can see, basic collision detection. Since there's no response other than the mouse being killed, there's nothing really more needed. In a minute I will demo a slightly cooler collision detection system. But yes, that's how it works. And if I manage to get to the... Yep, and then, yeah, game over. The color thing, which is actually pretty neat. Change the color of something just by... Yep, and as you can see, there's an overlay over the cat. And now for just a little demo of some more advanced stuff. You can see the balls are picked up whenever they're clicked on, and they move around pretty well. Yeah. And this is Box 2D, specifically Box 2D XNA, free open source physics library. And it's been ported to pretty much every platform, including XNA. It's pretty easy to use, and I highly recommend it as opposed to creating your own physics system. Thank you. I hope this has been an informative video.